All right, Illinois governor and potential 2028 presidential candidate J.B. Pritzker isn't backing down on Democrat Party policies.
To the pundits and the critics about what direction the National Democratic Party needs to go, I say take a look at Illinois Democrats. Yes, winning elections is partly about messaging and strategy, but it's mostly about values and delivering on them. And our values are exactly where they ought to be.
But sadly, those same values and policies are what allowed an illegal migrant with a history of drunk driving to crash into and kill Darcy Connolly Brunner, the mother of former WNBA star Sophie Brunner. Police say he was driving in Freeport, Illinois, when he crossed into the opposite lane, striking Brunner head-on, killing them both. Andrew Chesney is the Illinois state senator representing Freeport, and he joins me now. State Senator, what an absolutely devastating loss for this family, which is why you feel motivated to speak out. So what is your message this morning?
My message was this was completely preventable, and J.B. Pritzker caused this. Republicans have been calling on J.B. Pritzker to eliminate his radical agenda that is harming Illinoisans from every part of our state. That includes the elimination of the Trust Act, which prevents local law enforcement from communicating with federal authorities. And so this was a preventable occurrence, and J.B. Pritzker is right behind the wheel driving this radical agenda down the throats of everybody that I represent.
If you said that exact same thing, and I'm sure you have before, to your Democrat colleagues in the state Senate, you know, there are preventable crimes that are happening because ICE is not allowed to coordinate with police. If you said that to them, what would they say back to you? Is there any rational reason why this law hasn't changed?
Well, Governor Pritzker is protected by private security and big walls and a Grand Cayman Trust Fund. And so what they do is they use their money to manipulate the voters and confuse them. And that's why they've had the election results they have in previous years. Governor Pritzker has spent an unprecedented amount of money, $500 million, to manipulate the voters of Illinois. And it's helped mask these radical agendas. These are 80-10, 80-20 issues, 90-10 issues. People don't want this radical agenda that Governor Pritzker is putting forward. And the Democrats, for the most part, are along for the ride. They're very hesitant to push back on this agenda. They know it's not popular in their state. They know it's not popular in their communities. Rolling out the red carpet for illegal immigrants, providing free health care for illegal immigrants while everyone else has to pay a copay is not popular policy. But Governor Pritzker's, loves to go to these liberal enclaves and rub elbows with the coastal elites. He's really out of touch with the everyday people of not only this state, but this country.
Yeah, and this is, of course, not just politics. It's also so personal for the Brunner family, who reached some level of fame and attention because the daughter was in the WNBA for a period of time. And if looks are any indication, I mean, just look at that picture, so loved by her children. She looks like just the sweetest woman. How is the family doing? Have you been in touch with them?
It's been awful. It's shook the entire community. The sheriff that has been involved in this incident knows the family personally. In a prior role when I was on the city council, we presented awards to Sophie, who has done so much as a WNBA star, but just a community member. Darcy, of course, everybody was so connected. We're only a town of 23,000 people, so we all know one another. These are real lives. This isn't politics. Everybody says that this issue is getting politicized. It's not. What we're asking for state law to change. That is our job as lawmakers, is to change state laws that we can act to better the lives of the people we represent. We have two laws that need to be eliminated. We have the Trust Act that prohibits local law enforcement from communicating with ICE, and we also have the Safety Act, where Governor Pritzker is the first governor in the country to sign a law that eliminates cash bail. And so we're doing this to save the next life, the next family that is going to be victims of these state policies, because these are preventable.
Yeah, and he says, as we played it, that he's proud of these policies. They're the values that represent Illinois. Meanwhile, there are residents out there saying, if only this didn't have to happen. And here we are covering another tragic story. Illinois State Senator Andrew Chesney, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me on.
You're very welcome.